Hey guys, welcome to Rach Talk, my weekly show where I talk about anything and everything. And I did not start out wearing the sweatshirt, but I destroyed the other shirt that I was wearing. So here we are. Let's go. Welcome to Rach Talk. And an outfit that I felt like you needed to see. This is what I'm gonna call obnoxious loungewear. And if you recall from a recent episode, Nicole on my team asked me to wear a dress, and I had 3 dresses and I've worn them all on Rach Talk before, so I didn't want to repeat. Had she asked me to put on luxury loungewear, the options would have been infinite. I recently, for my birthday, bought myself some pajamas. Now, maybe you're saying, wait a minute, Rach. I know you, and you told us that you don't buy new clothes. You're right, I don't buy new clothes unless it's one chonies. Workout clothes and pajamas. Basically anything that someone else's junk has been in, and if your junk's rubbed inside that, I don't want my junk rubbing inside that. You know what I mean? So for my birthday was in January, I decided to buy myself a gift, and the gift that I bought myself was fancy jams. And I went to this store. This is not an ad. It's not. And it is expensive. Remember I told you luxury, and it was my birthday gift to myself. But I do really like this brand. So even though it's not an ad, I do really like this brand. It's a brand called Lunya. I hope I'm saying that right. Years ago on Instagram, I got served an ad for these like silk pajamas, and they were silk pajamas that you could wash. So it was like washable silk, and I was like, that's interesting. And I bought them on a whim as a gift for myself, and actually really love them. And I've worn those pajamas forever. So for my birthday, I said, I'm gonna go back to that store. I'm gonna get myself another pair of whatever. And do you know what? Have you ever been in like a state? Meaning like you're in a heightened state, it's your birthday, or you're excited to shop, or maybe you had some wine with your girls or whatever, and you go shopping and then you buy something that maybe you wouldn't have bought if you were in your normal frame of mind. That is the outfit that I'm wearing for you today, okay? Because I want this outfit to work on me. I want it to, but it doesn't. And that night is so, now just real quick, side note, it's like butter. It's like wearing a suit of butter. I don't know, I'm really weirdly rubbing my leg. I'm sorry, Jack. The issue is the wide leg, okay? I want to be a person that can rock a wide leg. I was a teenager in the 90s. It was a thing. I want it to be my thing. I'm in this store. It's my birthday. I'm buying myself pajamas. And I say, you know what pajamas you're going to get? Wide leg. And I asked the sales girl, I'm like, is this crazy? And she's like, no, those are my favorite. I wear them every day. I wear them to the grocery store. I wear them. Now, she's 6 feet tall and her body is this big, so it looks very different on her than it does on your pal Rach. But here we go. This is what we're going with, right? And they have pockets, right? But it's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm 5'2". This is not, but I was committed and I want to be the wide leg girl. So I'm committed. I bought these as my birthday. You are looking at the birthday gift that I bought myself, and they look ridiculous, but I don't care. And so they needed a chance to be out in the world, and here they are. Then I was like, okay, if I'm going to show you some delicious loungewear, maybe it's like a moment. It's cold where you are. Maybe you need a little something, or maybe you just need to see how I invest in loungewear to feel better about your choice to do so. Because honestly, I live at home. I work from home now. #COVID. Is it still 2020? I don't know. And I like to wear cozy clothes. I'm not wearing jeans unless I'm going on a date or we are shooting this show. This is the only time I'm putting on real clothes. Otherwise, I'm in sweatpants or a lounge moment. Do you wear jeans at home, like when you're at home? I feel like you sleep in this outfit, I bet. Oh, I bet. Okay, so I want to show you a couple of things that I love in the loungewear category. Maybe you didn't know you always needed. First of all, not an ad. I don't have ads on this show. Maybe someday someone wants to send me free pajamas, but for right now, there's just things I love. Okay. Well, that one I got a stain on, so let's go here. Highly recommend. These are slip-on Uggs, like Ugg house shoes, and they're knitted, which is really cute, and they're fuzzy. Well, that's delicious. But what's really cool is these are like hard. So when I had to take out the trash the other night, which at my house was like walking very far to the end of the driveway, because I live out in the country, I wear these outside all the time. So highly recommend the Uggs. I've had these for years. I really wanted to include this because someone got me this as a gift, and it is delicious. This I think is, this is Barefoot Dreams, which is also, I think, pretty, I think it's a lot of money. But it is. Oh, Jack, there's like a little weight to it. Okay, so it's like, I'm not saying it's a weighted blanket, but it's delightful. Here's what you don't even know. Can we? It's a poncho. It's a blanket poncho with a wide leg pant. There she is. Here she is, everybody. Woo, yes. This is the warmth you need. This is delicious, okay? Delightful, delicious. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's always thrown over somewhere in the house in the wintertime because I'm always cold and I have this and my kids steal it from me. It's just, yes, please. Okay, last thing. Now, you know what? This isn't even going to have a real shot because of the wide leg pant. The wide leg pant's going to throw it off. But I have a collection of these in multiple colors. This is the only one I have that's like goes all the way to the floor. But basically, I tend to wear a lot of like, as I said, sweatpants, lounge, whatever. And I feel like adding a little kimono on top just makes it look like, oh, she cared. Like, yes, she's sloppy, but she's also a hippie. Or yes, she's sloppy, but she's also going to go cast a spell later. I don't know. And I feel like if we were really going to do this, Jack, we would go here. Jack, do you know that if you want to get a perfect top knot, you actually can't look in a mirror? Do you know the rules?
No.
Top knot rules are you don't look in a mirror. If I look in a mirror, it looks hideous. If I don't look in a mirror, maybe it still looks hideous. Can you show me what I look like right now? Hello. Can you tell me what's happened since last week's session? Also, I didn't for sure look at myself in the monitor before we started taping the show, and I just realized how blousy this whole situation was. So, you know, it's like a rug with a head. It's okay. It's fine. But how about that top knot, Jack? The higher the hair, the closer to Jesus. Can I tell you, actually, that I spied this? I got this at Free People when I moved into this house, actually. Frankly, I was going through a divorce. I was moving into this house, and I had seen this at Free People, and I really wanted it. It was like $100 or something, and I was so conscious at the time of like, I was going to be on my own in finances, and it's like a whole thing. I actually just did a podcast series about money and the mindset surrounding money, and one of the things I talk about in the show is how your mindset when it comes to financial situations really affects your ability to save money, to earn more money, or to self-sabotage. And so I had a lot of fears surrounding money and finance, and it was one of those things where like for the longest time I didn't buy this because I was like, I'm gonna run out of money. It was so wild because I could look, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, and if you haven't, it's probably not gonna make sense to you, but if you live in a scarcity mindset around money, then even if you look in your bank account and you're like, we're good, and I have a good job and money's gonna keep coming in, I hesitated. And I know this maybe sounds silly, but buying this $100 thing from Free People, which $100 is a lot of money, but I was like, I'm going to have this for years and years and years. Like, there's no reason for me to ever get rid of this thing. But also it was sort of representative to me of, I know it sounds silly, but like having faith in myself, having faith in God, having faith in the universe, that I would be safe, that I would be financially secure. And it was the simplest thing. It was like the only thing I bought myself in that process, but that's what it represents to me. And I think of that whenever I put it on. So it might sound silly, but the clothes that we wear, whether it's pajamas or what we're going to go on a date in, or, you know, the scrunchie that you use to do your hair, whatever, like it's all a representation of how you feel about yourself. Maybe not for everybody, but I think that the clothes that we put on is a form of self-expression. And if you're feeling like you're in a funk, or you're feeling like you're sort of missing a piece of yourself, or you've lost a piece of yourself, it could be really powerful for you to go into your closet and choose based on how you want to feel. Not how you want to look or what you think you're supposed to wear, but how is it that you want to feel today? And is there anything in this closet that can make me feel the way I want to feel? I told this story in Girl Wash Your Face. I wrote a book called Girl Wash Your Face years ago. And I told the story about after my second son was born, I had really bad postpartum depression. And it got worse and worse as the weeks went on. I had his brother was still under 2 years old, and I had a newborn baby, and I felt like I just sat around all day and breastfed. I remember crying and just feeling like this sounds crazy, but I felt like a cow. Like I was like, I'm like a cow that someone's milking. Like my only purpose here is just to like be milked. And my mind wasn't well at the time because I had depression. I didn't realize it. It was the silliest thing in the world, but it worked for me. No part of me felt like myself. My body didn't feel like my own. My life didn't feel like I just didn't know any. And then one day, I was watching Bravo, because that's what I did. I breastfed my baby. I watched Bravo. And it was back when, I don't know if y'all remember, the Rachel Zoe project was really popular. And I really liked it because I liked the clothes. And Rachel Zoe always wore these big, chunky rings. And I thought it was so cool. Like, she always had these rings on, and I thought it was so amazing. And I had one like big cocktail ring that I had bought like from Target, but it was like chunky and big, and it kind of looked like something she might wear. And the next time I was in my closet, I saw that ring. And the thing was, I couldn't fit into any of my clothes because I had just had my second baby. Couldn't even fit into my shoes. Everything was swollen, but I could wear that ring. And I remember putting that ring on, and I would be a mess. Like I hadn't showered, and I would be wearing pajamas, but not as nice as these ones. And I would sit there, but I would wear that cocktail ring. And I would look down at it as I was breastfeeding, and it would just help me remember that there was a version of me that wasn't in bloom right now. I think when we're in those harder seasons, when we're feeding babies, or when we're pregnant, or when we're going through grief, or we're going through loss, or we're going through change, we can sometimes be really hard on ourselves because we're not in bloom, right? Like in the wintertime, if you look out in my yard right now, everything's kind of dead because that's what it's supposed to do in winter. It kind of goes underground and it's not in bloom. But eventually you'll get through this season, we'll get through this season, and the season that follows winter is spring. And so what I was wearing when I was wearing that ring was a reminder that there was a version of myself that wasn't in bloom now, but maybe would be someday. And so it's just worth considering. If you feel like you're in a bit of a rut, or if you feel like you're in the midst of a winter, maybe there's something that you can put on to remind you that spring is on the way. Oh, okay. Sorry, that's a bad transition out. That was like a beautiful moment. And then this is how my brain works, though, as Jack knows. And my poor boo. I mean, he's fine. He's living his best life. He's with me. Lucky him. Yay. This man is so quiet and like centered and calm and like doing yoga and like being whatever. And then I swear he's got, at least once a day, he's got to be like, how did I end up with this person who never shuts up? I talk so much. And I was thinking the other day, I'm like, you know what? He really doesn't ask me questions. Like, I'm going to talk to Boo about this. Like, I remember when we were first dating and we played this question game. And okay, hold on. Jack, this question game is why I have a love. It's why I am in love. It is how all this, I can't believe I've never talked. Hold on, I gotta find the question game. Hold on. Wide leg. Okay. We're playing this question game and I'm literally out of breath. That's embarrassing. Oh my God. Okay. We're playing this question game and then one of the questions was, what's something you want to know about me? So basically the idea behind the game is this box of questions, and how we played it was we pull a card, but then we both had to answer it. So one person would read and the other person had to answer. And the question was, what do you want to know about me that you don't know? And this gorgeous human, because he's so romantic, this gorgeous human looks at me. The question is, what do you want to know about me? And he says, everything. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Are you kidding me?
I melted.
You melted, right? He says everything. Fast forward. The other day, I'm like, you know what? Remember that time that he said he wanted to know everything? But he doesn't really ask me questions. I mean, yeah, how's your day, baby? And like, how are the kids? And what happened at work today? He asked me a lot of questions, but he doesn't ask me like soul searching. How's your heart? What's the first concert you ever went to? Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't ask me those questions. And I'm thinking, what on earth? This man said he wanted to know everything. And I feel like he's barely scraping the top of the bucket. And then almost immediately from my spirit or from a spirit guide or an angel, whatever, was like, when is he going to ask you a question? When will he slip a question in? When he's just over there like, Lord Jesus, give me the strength to be present long enough for her to run through all the things she wants to talk about in a day. You know, this is the energy that I bring. Okay? And I learned a long time ago that if someone doesn't like my energy, that's okay. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but that doesn't mean I should lower my energy for anyone else. And he loves my energy. He's just never going to be able to match it. I mean, who could? Who do we think could? Richard Simmons.
I say let's start sweating!
Okay, that's who it is. That's who came to be right now. Okay, so imagine, if you will, my friend and I, because remember, I don't even know if I told you the story. So we were just friends, right? But they were playing this question game. And over the course of this question game, many weeks, I'd take them when we get wine or whatever. It was just a fun thing to do. We absolutely fell in love over this game. No joke. The game is called the I guess. Oh, it's called Skin Deep. So it's like more than skin deep. Again, how did I find this? Instagram ad. Instagram's got me, man. They have got me. Okay. So some of the questions, there's like different categories. I just want to read like a couple, Jack, just to give people an idea. So this question is, how do you feel about the last time you made a compromise for me? Now, here's what's interesting. When we first did this, we had just met each other. And so it was like funny because it would be like, oh, the last time I made a compromise for you is we went to this place instead of this place on our date, right? But if you've been with someone for a decade, or now we've been together for a year, that question would be different, or that answer would be different. And that's really cool because as you evolve as human beings, the answers will always change. These are, by the way, don't do this if you're unsure. Maybe do this if you're unsure. It'll push you right over the edge. Also, I heard, by the way, speaking of that, I had no idea, but I was asking Nicole earlier today about the podcast, and she was saying one of the episodes I did went bananas. Like, so many people downloaded it, and I never, ever expected that. The episode is called Signs That Your Relationship is in Trouble. So I did this episode, Holy crap. A lot of you are really into that. So if you, FYI, are concerned that your relationship might be in trouble, I did an hour-long episode about my own marriage and things that happened inside of it that should have been red flags to me that I didn't see. So if that might be helpful to you, or maybe you just want to hear, maybe you're single, but you want to be conscious of things when you go into the next relationship, check it out. How do you think having children would or has affected our relationship? Let me find, there's also some that are like a little sexy. Oh, here's one about money. What about my relationship to work would you like to change? It's a really good thing. Now, I can't find any sexy ones, of course, but there are some in here where you're like, uh-oh, that's embarrassing. But we're not embarrassing. If you're comfortable with yourself and your body and whatever, it's not embarrassing. It's like normal. But anyway, guys, highly recommend. Should we take some time to learn? Yeah. Okay, so I've talked about this book a ton, and I want to make sure that you guys hear about it too, because I get requests all the time for what to read next or what books are helping me, and this is a book that I have read over and over and over, which I think is one of the greatest signs that a book is really helpful. So, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. You can see it says the 25th anniversary because this book has been around forever, and yet the stuff that's in it is so helpful. So it's not really a book as much as it's a workbook, and it takes you week by week through things to unpack and challenges to consider to help you become more creative. And the thing is, we're all creative. We all have a version of creativity in our life. So whether you're a photographer, painter, dancer, singer, actor, writer, podcast host, entrepreneur, there's something in here that's going to be really helpful for you. And this is one of those things that I heard about for years but never picked up. And when I finally did, kicked myself for not understanding it sooner. So if you have never read The Artist's Way, I really want to recommend it to you. And what I hear more often than not is that people have had this on their bookshelf forever but haven't actually opened it. So if that's you, this is your chance to take this as a sign and dig into the work. And also, if you have read The Artist's Way and you love it as much as I do, will you comment below and tell people that it's great, or share one of the things that you learned from it that you think will be really helpful to everybody else? Oh my gosh, hold on, Jack. I forgot to tell him about something. When I was changing into my loungewear, this is the beauty of doing this at my house. I found a product that I'm obsessed with. Obsessed. Are you ready? You might even like this. Not an ad. It's called Everyday Oil. Okay? First of all, I need it right now.
Right now.
And it is expensive. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it on the pajamas? Is it on the pajamas? No, I need Dawn. No! Why do I do these things? No! Well, I had to change my shirt, but it did work out because this is also a new thing that I got that I really love. This is, and this is really cool because this is upcycled. So this is, you know what, it's fine because we're talking about luxury loungewear, and this actually fits in nicely because this is the most expensive sweatshirt I've ever bought in my life. This is a brand called something like I Stole My Boyfriend's Sweatshirt is what it's called. So they take old vintage and then they like add really cool stitching and stitching here. Now let's try this again. It's called Everyday Oil. I'm gonna face the spigot out here. Okay. Now, oil is so good. Do you use oil on your skin, Jack? It's so good, especially this time of year when you're like feeling dry, right? And my skin just sucks it in. I feel like I'm doing an ad for QVC right now. So I know about this because my boyfriend wears it and he smells so good. It's like strangers will compliment him. They compliment him on his hair because it's amazing, and they compliment him on his smell. And for the longest time, I was like, what is that? And then finally I discovered the truth. It's this thing called Everyday Oil. So it's all organic, coconut, olive, jojoba, castor, argan,
Shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes.
lavender, geranium, sage, all wild harvested. So this says the directions are use every day, all over. Everyday oil. It's a little bit hard to find right now because, people are having like shipping issues, but you know where I get it? If you have one of these, I know they're not everywhere, but Sun Life Organic. So they have those in LA. They have some in Austin now. You want to try some? Okay, so I know, like, if you're not used to oil at first, you're going to be like, oh, wait, I don't know. But I swear to your skin is just going to suck it up. And then in the Ayurvedic tradition, oil, I don't know if you guys are into Ayurveda, but the oil's a really big part of the day, and it's a really big ritual. So usually, nobody asks, but I'm going to tell you, when I get out of the shower, I do Josie Maran's whipped argan oil. It's like oil, but it's like whipped into like a body sort of lotion butter thing. So I do unscented all over my body. And then I do oil on top of that. But even in that, in winter, just sucking it up, y'all. Did you notice that I took my nail polish off? No, you are not. You're not a detail person. You know that nails are a huge deal for me. We've worked together long enough for you to know that. I think I'm over nail polish. Yeah. I wish you all had a look at the look that this man just gave me. I kept going. I couldn't find a color, and then I was like, oh, I can't find a color because I really don't want a color. And P.S. I looked all over YouTube for a video about how do you navigate from having gel nails to going natural. Because women who have like really beautiful natural nails, I admire them so much, but now I realize like they work on that. So I'm in the middle of a transition, Jack. How do we feel about it? It feels fine, right? My hands are still pretty. That had nothing to do with anything, but I just felt like you needed to know in case people are like, wait, where'd her nail polish go? That's where it went. It's taking a breather. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you got a chuckle. I hope you heard something interesting. I will be back next week with another episode. Until then, be kind to yourself, be kind to podcast hosts that you love, and subscribe to our show or our channel so that you get a notification every single time we post a new episode. And until I meet up with you next week, remember, seriously, if nobody said this week, I love you, and I'm rooting for you.